All right. Friday morning. It's so dark outside, I got to turn my car light on so that there can at least be some perception of me. And, you know, sometimes I think people, when they listen to these videos, the very few that do, which I appreciate, the ones that do, may not even watch them. They may just listen to them, so that's cool. So now that you know I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and turn this light off because I can't be driving like that. So I'm about 3.5 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, or maybe just right at 3 weeks since I have arrived here in Florida in a godlike happening of fortune. When I got here, before I left, I tried to reach out. I work for a big company, and before I left, so they have branches all around the world, definitely all around the United States. So before I left, I tried to use my resources, you know, and I've been at the company for going on 5 years collectively. So, you know, I've been around enough to know how to network and navigate and get in touch with other managers and find emails and contacts for branches outside of my own. And I tried to find a job here, but they weren't hiring. So I got here and I spent a couple weeks just looking at the chessboard before I was going to make my move. And I'll just say in advance, this video will probably get emotional. But I want to document that. I want to document that because this is my life, man. This is all I have. I don't have anything else, man. I didn't like what I had in Oklahoma, so I tried to change it. I tried to make it better. And I went to Colorado, and it did really well. I'm glad I went to Colorado. And then what I found is that I set myself into the ocean, which means that I'm going to have to sail with the winds, and I'm going to have to respect the tossing of the seas. And sometimes those waters put you in another position, and, you know, it's just that. So I'll dock and I'll start over. And I accept that because I realize there is no, you know, there's a song by Blue Oyster Cult called Burning for You, and in the first lyric, he says, home in the darkness, home in the valley. Or no, he says, home in the darkness, home on the highway. Home isn't my way, home I'll never be. And I really feel that. I'll always be moving. It's just my life, it's how I am. It's where I found my happiness. So I got here and I started going around to places. I tried to do exactly what I did in Colorado. And then I started deviating from it day by day, realizing that Florida is going to have its own uniqueness. But, you know, you go off of something that you previously knew, and then you just adjust and adapt. And I went to the beaches. I went to St. Pete's Beach. I went to Treasure Island. I went to Daytona. I got to swim in the Atlantic. Oh, man. But, you know, I hadn't had sex in a while. And this is, you know, I'm getting increasingly transparent because I'm just so sure that I'm not a bad person. So I don't mind sharing why I do the things that I do. Because I feel like if I can get this out, then maybe the listener can find the tune of that honesty and find happiness themselves because they finally catch the true self of what they want to do, who they are, and then follow that. And I think me getting vulnerable with a lot of things that I've felt, even though they're deep and embarrassing, is one of the most effective ways to do that. See, I'm just trying things out here. My whole life is an experiment. It's a research project, my human experience. You know, a lot of times I come across people that are so left or right politically, what's left and right extreme politically is just a representation of the extremes of their mind. So that person just likely has fear and control problems, fear and control issues. Because I've been there. It's just a form of human immaturity. See, it's not to say I'm better than anybody. It's when you've been in both places, when you've been both immature and then mature, then you really know how to talk to the people who are immature. But when the people who are immature try to act like they are mature and you're mature, it's kind of like, well, fuck, I'm not trying to say I'm better than you, but I do know better than you here by experience. And, you know, the universe, you may ask me, what's my authority? The universe gave me that authority. Seek and you'll find. So I went to Tinder because I hadn't fucked in a while, and I needed something. I needed to feel. I was just coming out of like the biggest solitude of my life, and the shutdown in Denver, and it hit a lot harder in Denver than it did in Florida. And I was panicking, man. I was like, damn, dude, this hurts, this coronavirus. Like, my life was great. It was still going good. It wasn't like I was losing sleep at night. I was just like, man, compared to how high it was, that's a big, it's like we were pushed off a boat, and we're still on the point where we're underwater. We haven't yet got back to the surface. We're still recovering from being pushed in the boat. So just imagine the interval of the coronavirus, like, slow it down and imagine, like, so we're still in the water, like tossing, you know, we're like, whoa, we're in the water, what the fuck? All right, what do we gotta do? This, oh, we gotta get air. We're not even up yet to get air. So, you know, it really hurts. It hurts to see other people going through that. It hurts to not be able to go to a bar and get a drink and just take a girl out to dinner or any of that. I don't like that, but I understand it. So I got on Tinder, I started swiping, I fucked someone the first night, boom, easy, done. But that wasn't enough. And, you know, I hate to admit this, but I'm starting to get to a point where it's like I really long for companionship, man. I really long for, like, a fucking good woman, man. And that kind of it goes into the point of this video. The thing with the girl that I did go hook up with, I practiced just absolute respect this time. And I was just like, this is what I'm doing. This is what this is what I'm expecting of this. Now, in exchange, I will give you a very solid, you get 2 hours of my time. I listen to her stories. I listen to her talk about things in her life, you know, because I felt like that's a good thing for me to do in exchange for what I'm expecting to get out of basically the universe. You know, that's the way I live my life. And it was great. And she was like, she literally the next morning thanked me. I have the text still. I had to show it to my sister. I was like, Jessica, I want to show you that I'm not taking advantage of anybody. Look at what they're telling me. She was like, I needed that connection. God, man. We're broken, man. This fucking generation is broken, man. I hate it. Oh, I'm broken too, man. And I'm going around just to fuck somebody, and they're like, I needed you. And I hate that that's the state of where we're at today. So I kept, but, you know, there was no other attraction there. I wasn't, like, attracted to her, you know. It's just, that is what it is. I think attraction has to be the red flag. It has to be, we have to follow that. That's how we know. Our instincts, we're a human, and you have to learn to trust just what you were born with. You were born with super computer compatibility. Just on the base, you don't have to think about it. So if you start following yourself more often, you can find yourself in better positions. And you're like, how did I get here? It's like, that's just the flow state. That's how it works. Shout out to Paul Dinner. So apparently people want companionship. That's something that I found in my human experience, even though I've tried solitude. And solitude is great for a lot of reasons, because there's a lot of things that get fucked up when people are around. Like, it comes with headaches, you know, but I think if you could find a balanced situation that the payment is less than the value. So what it costs to get it is less than what it's going to end up being valuable to you. And that's traditionally why we've had relationships. But with the social media age and entitlement and third wave feminism, whether feminism is right or wrong, it is definitely a major influence into where we're at today. Also, just where technology's going, we're getting rights taken away from us in exchange for security, because it's in protection of the system, so it makes sense, right? Well, we don't want anyone to be able to bring bombs into an airport because we got to fly our airplanes. See, so now people get rights taken away. So is that right or wrong? That's not what I'm saying. It's just a controversy. This is my human experience. This is how humans get through things, and something's got to give eventually. So I eventually swiped right. Actually, I paid for a month of Tinder, and the reason why I pay is because then I like to just see who likes me, because it doesn't take much for me to want to give my attention to a woman. It doesn't take much. It just takes, can I trust you? Do you actually want me? Because I've been fucked over enough to realize that people are on the prowl, and you have to protect your king with your pawns. You understand? So when you're making a move, you can't make a move and then leave another area open, because then they'll put you in check. So you got to play strategically next time. You lose, and then you get back on the board and you learn and you play better. And eventually you put their bitch ass in checkmate. And, you know, playfully, but then you play. But the point is that This time around, yeah, that's got to be on my mind, because I was so heartbroken last time, and I felt like someone literally abused me and took advantage of me. So I like to see that they like me, and then, you know, I'll just go and I'll vet and I'll determine, and I look at their pictures. How much of their pictures are provocative? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to get my attention? Are you trying to get everyone's attention? Are you riding the cock carousel? Are you a good woman? Have you slept away your value? How old are you? Have you been married? Not because these things make me shallow. It's because I'm looking for a quality human, because I'm a quality human, and I'm not willing to require anything that I'm not going to bring to the table myself. So, you know, I have standards, and I think largely men have been shamed for having standards, but it's like, dude, we're the prize. The man is the prize, and that's because it is. That's my observation. It's not because it's what I want it to be. So, this one girl named Caitlin, and I'll say her name because, you know, respect, liked me, and I looked at her, I was like, wow, you can't see any skin. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, she's got a couple pictures where she's showing cleavage, but you got to think, these women are trying to get your attention too. They're going to use what they got. I'm cool with that. I'm not cool with anybody. It doesn't matter if you're a woman using your breast or you're a man using your money. I'm not cool with people saying like, hey, I'm not good enough myself to attract you, but maybe you'll like me because of this. And it's just, that breeds a world of problems. So I messaged her, I matched with her, and I said, Caitlin, I like what I see. And let me just speed this up for the sake of the video. I took her to the beach. It was cool. She hit all the checklists in the beginning. I vetted her. I was like, awesome. So I took her to the beach. We spent an entire day at the beach. And then I went to her house. And of course there was some fucking going on. Whatever, man. But I started catching feelings. But in a way that I wasn't infatuated. I was going home and I was thinking about this. I was like, hey man, this is how I feel when she's around. I like this. Is this safe? Or, man, it really impressed me that she's 22 years old and she bought a house. So there were things going on in my mind, and because that was in place, I was allowing my emotions to be what they really were. And I was like, I absolutely like this girl. And you know what? I went and took her to the beach again. And this is like over 2 weeks. This wasn't like consecutive. And I was listening to some of my favorite red pill guys, and you know, I'm a red pill man. I've been MGTOW. I've gone my own way, not because I think I'm going to be single my whole life, just because I know I had to get my shit together, and I had to set a direction so that if I'm going to expect a woman to follow in submission to my lead, I better be going somewhere, and it better be, you know, fucking worthwhile. Like, I got to sell her on that. Like, hey, baby, this is where I'm going, and I'll treat you right. I'll give you back rubs. I'll take pictures of you with me. I'll show you off to my family. I'll buy you dinner. I'll surprise you. I won't forget your birthday. You get a kiss from me, good night every night. Every text, good morning. It's a good, I'm willing to do my job as a man. And what I expect from you is I want to be exclusive. And I want you to acknowledge my existence. I want you to be a benefit to my life. I want you to commit to being a benefit to my life. But more than that, I want you to really want to do those things. Now, I think in a relationship, you have to train one another to get to that point, but that's my standards. And, you know, I won't change those because I'd rather just be single, but I'm still hopeful. And that's why we're hopeless romantics. But that game's a lot more viable than it is to just think that some fantasy is going to happen. I'm making moves, man. Like, one thing you'll recognize about me, and this is just a prediction, but I make fucking moves, man. I don't just talk. I go goddamn do it. As I'm fucking figuring it out. I'm gonna figure it out, man. It's just a matter of time. It's a matter of how many times will I lose before I checkmate this fucking bitch ass. And if there's no person that I'm thinking of, I'm saying like these obstacles. When I look at an obstacle, I'm like, okay, I rise up to the challenge and I find a way to defeat it to my benefit. So, and that's what I would do. But that's the man you have. And you can be my woman. And I'll be your man. So you'll be in submission to my benefit, and guess what? I'll be in submission to your benefit. Okay, so I caught feelings for her, and she was really cool, and you know, I started implementing some of these strategies and telling her a little bit one by one. I couldn't expect to just put that all on her, but because we spent such quality time at the beach and developed we went through phases that it would take maybe 5 weeks if you were just going on dinner dates to figure out about one another. And that's how it is today. You know, people are having sex immediately. And, you know, one of the reasons I realized I started actually caring about this woman is I was like, I don't want to fuck her anymore. Because I don't want her to get her pregnant, and I don't want to get pregnant myself either. But I don't want to ruin something that can. I have a shot here, God damn it! And I was like, I really got a shot, and I did. I absolutely had a shot, and I worked for it. And long story short, eventually didn't work out, but I feel it, and I hurt, and I want her, and I miss her, but that's okay, and it doesn't distract me from going my way. So there is an ability, if you've been hurt before, to regain your strength and then go swim back in the water again. And those traumatizing moments of your past won't be as big of a deal as you might think they are, because that was my issue. I was like, man, I don't even want to get close to a woman again. But see, I did, and I'm glad I did, because now I actually believe I'm gonna go play chess, and I don't take advantage of women. So I'm not gonna go look to just fuck. I'm gonna go see where the good girls at, man, and who wants a good man. Because I got a career now. This job put me back in a position. I'm thinking smart now, man. I'm not losing this. I'm set. I feel good at that, and I'm working hard every goddamn day. I mean, I don't have to. It's 6:22 right now. I don't have to be at work till 8, but I'm on my way to work. I'm getting there just to fucking plot and look at the chessboard. Okay, how can I take care of this customer? What's this guy's name? What is my boss expecting out of me? How can I come into alignment with his philosophy? Outside of that, how can I clean the warehouse? How can I do things outside of what I'm expected to do to demonstrate, without even saying it, that I care, that I am a good worker, that I have respect for myself, that I'm going to respect others. So I'm thinking of these things, and I think that's what you do, and I'm doing the same thing with the woman. How great would it be if you're a woman to have a guy that is thinking about you in that way? How can I make her life better? Man, she likes this. Maybe I can surprise her with this text, or maybe I send it with invisible ink just to add a little bit of suspense. I think of these things, man. I'm a good goddamn bachelor. So yes, I'm gonna require someone to be able to match that. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I'm in every fucking right to do that. And I believe someone is out there, because there are people like me that have realized it's not just a gender game. There's something that exists about us beyond our gender, our souls. So there's another soul out there, I'm sure, that is just as frustrated with me and probably is playing the game, because a lot of times there are people out there that are pretending to play the game, but it's just because they don't know there's nothing else. But if they were to come and touch something that is real, then they might be like, that's what I've wanted the whole time. So what I'm doing is I'm going and I'm touching it, and I'm just like saying, hey, this is me, this is what I want. Caitlin, I really like you, and I see something with us long term. However, because of my past, I take a certain moves, and this is what I'm looking for. Now, I'm not expecting anything of you. I just want to be clear and transparent to what I'm looking for, so that we don't get out of line, understanding why we're here, and then you don't get your heart broken. God damn, dude, I'm like a father. So she's not hurt. We didn't end on bad terms. It just got to a point where she went a whole day without texting me, and I was like, man, Caitlin, I am kind of an alpha, and but I'm soft too. When it comes to women, I want to feel like you like me. I want you to show me. And I got to the point where it's like it was only me texting her before I got a response. So I was like, you know what? Here's a good move. I'm just not going to say anything today, and I want to see if she'll take initiative, and she didn't. And I asked her. I said, hey, do I have to get a text to send you one? Or do I have to send you a text to get one? Because I was hoping you'd show me some initiative, and I'm a bit let down. That's exactly what I said. And, she did her girl spiel, and it wasn't bad. It was just a bunch of lies and manipulation. I'm a red pill man. I know that. So I'm like, man, I really hope that you would have just... It's like women think that because they're taught to be like men, they think that not showing emotions is attractive. But that only works from females to men. So I actually am attracted when a woman shows emotions to me and shows like, hey, David, I like you too. When I go to sleep at night, I definitely think about you. And then we're putting our pieces on the board, and they're like, hey, why don't we play a game? Why don't we work with what you have and what I have, and let's go build a fucking fantastic life. But people are so hurt, man. They can't see that, man. They can't see how genuine I'm being, man. I'm looking for a friend, and I can't find it. I can't find one. And it's because no one's being real with themselves, man. They got so much shit to do in their lives. They're adults now, and they got this task and that, and I don't got time. I got this. I'm like, yeah. And you end up lonely. and I don't want to end up lonely. So I'm trying to bargain with people, you know. So it's whatever, man. This is part of it. This is life. This is my human experience. But I just wanted to share that, man. It really affected me in a good way. This is a good move. This is something to learn. But man, it really touched my heart again, and it made me feel alive. Sometimes you got to bleed to know that you're alive and you have a soul. So I just told her, I was like, hey, listen, you know, there's a song by Jay-Z, and he was talking about Beyonce, and it was before, eventually they got married, but this is before that happened, and this is what he said. He said, I don't think it's meant to be, because she loves her work more than she does me. And honestly, at 23, I would probably love my work more than I did she. So we ain't we, it's me and her. Because what she prefers over me is work. And that's where we defer. So I have to give her free time even if it hurts. So breathe, mommy, it's deserved. You've been put on this earth to be all you can be, like the reserves. And me, my time in this army is served. So I have to allow her time to serve. The time's now for her, and time she'll mature. And maybe we can be we again like we were. Finally, my time's too short to share. So to ask her now, it ain't fair. So yeah, she lost one. So I'm like, yeah, we met on Tinder. We were just fucking around, but I caught feelings for you, and I have to stop now because I can't go forward anymore. I care about you. And I see something because I've been in enough relationships to recognize what I don't want and what I do. But I realize you're 22. And a 22-year-old today is like a 16-year-old. Seriously, because of social media, and I fucking hate it. She just couldn't keep up, man. Like, her house is a mess. Her lawn is not mowed. She doesn't have a clue on what she's gonna do with her life. And that's cool. I'm not hating on her. I was gonna come in and try to offer a little bit of structure, but I'm not gonna take over her life. Your life is your life. I'm looking for you to bring it to the table, to my life. And I just started seeing a messy chessboard, and I was like, well, that's cool, but that's not cool if you're also not gonna text me. See what I'm saying? So I have standards, man. I thought through this, and I didn't let my feelings blind me. I thought through it, and I let myself feel, and I thought that would happen. 2 years ago, I started thinking about this, and now I'm here to say it does happen. You have to give your emotions the full reins. Go back on my channel and look to a video. It's called The Depth of Desire. Most people are confused because they've not ever really followed something to their true desire. So they don't know what they want. But I've done that. So I know what I want. And I'm like, baby, I want you. And I really think you want me. Because this is what you have in your pocket. You have a 28-year-old man that's ready to take care of a 22-year-old girl. You get all of the young part of me that I could have given you when I was 22. With all of the experience and resource that I couldn't give you at 22, but I can give you at 28. You have a man, sweetheart. So you can either sleep away your 20s and end up 30 saying, where have all the good men gone? Because now you're no longer useful to them with your beat up pussy. Or you can preserve your value with me and have a shot at waking up to somebody when you're 30 who's gonna kiss you on the forehead. And you know what? Fill your gas tank up and make you dinner. In addition to you making him dinner. I'm like, you know, that sounds better to me. But I put it out there, and you know what? I'm like, I can handle the burn, man. I can handle it. I'm a man. I got bigger fucking fish to fry. So you can't lower your standards. I mean, of course, don't take too far, because if you have too high of standards, then you're not going to find anybody, and then you're going to say, well, I can't find anybody. No, that's your fault. That's not the case here, and I because I've done that before, and I realize I'm not doing a standard for that measure. It's not out of pettiness. It's out of protection. So these aren't really high standards. They're very solid. And so anyways, this video is getting really long. That's all I got to say, man. Peace and love. And I hope you find compatibility too, as I search on.